Hello everyone, I'm Shanu Mandot, TestRail's Community Manager. Today, in this video, we will see how to configure Azure DevOps, formerly known as Microsoft TFS and Visual Studio Online with TestRail. By end of this video, you'll understand how easily you can create and link new work items in your Azure DevOps instance based on your testing in TestRail. Let's dive in. For this demonstration, I'm using TestRail Cloud Instance version 6.6.1.1166. You can see your version details under Administration, Overview, and TestRail version. Also, I have already set up a free trial account in Azure DevOps and created a new project for the demo purpose. This is my instance name and this is the new project. Now, to configure any plugin, you need to have an administrative privilege which will allow you to view and modify the integration settings under Administration menu. We'll also refer to our documentation guide on Azure DevOps available on TestRail's website. I would recommend to keep it handy while you are setting up the integration. Now to start with, there are currently 4 ways to integrate TestRail with Azure DevOps, namely using defect URLs, using reference URLs, using the defect plugin, and using the reference plugin. The defect and references integrations both give you ways to integrate your TestRail test with your issue tracker to speed up testing, improve traceability, and streamline communication between the QA and development team. Defect integrations make it easy for you to report bugs in your issue or bug tracking tool, while references integrations give you a way to view and trace development requirements to your testing activities in TestRail. TestRail provides 2 levels of integrations for both defect and references fields: view and add URL integrations and plugin integrations. The view and add URL integrations are the most simple, allowing you to quickly hyperlink between TestRail and your issue tracker to give your test entities in TestRail more context and to make navigation back and forth. And the plugin integrations take this a step further by allowing you to view information from your external issue tracker right within TestRail and even create new issues without leaving TestRail. We don't need to use all the listed integration options. In this demo, in the first part, we will see how to use defect URLs, and in the second part, we will cover defect plugin integration. So let's see how the defect URLs are used. Let's navigate to integration under Administration menu. We can see here defect URLs, defect view URL and defect add URL. The defect view URL is used to build a link to Azure DevOps based on the defect ID, so that we can simply click on an ID to open the issue directly in Azure DevOps. And the defect add URL is used to create a link to the issue creation screen inside Azure DevOps. Let's move forward by configuring these 2 URLs. Let's refer the documentation again and come back to the defect URLs. Here in the documentation, we can see these 2 URLs will just replace the instance name and the project name and copy and paste it in TestRail. For easier demonstration, I have already set these URLs here on the notepad. This is my view URL and this is my add URL. I'll simply copy and paste it in the integration settings. This is my view URL and this is the add URL, and click on Save Settings. So you can see here the %20 sign between the Amazon app. The one thing to note here is if you have a space in your project name, you can use a ASCII code for space, that is %20. One more thing to note here is we can configure Azure DevOps globally or on a per project basis. Here in this video we have set it up globally. Now let's take a quick look at one of the tests I'm currently working on. When I click Add Results, I now see the add link here. I'll also see a add link here in the push defects from anywhere feature. Now let's add a defect. So we are navigated to the Azure DevOps screen, the issue creation screen. I'll just simply say login is failing and click on save. Yeah. So after adding, we can also view the defect details by hovering over the defect ID. To summarize the first part, the add defect feature is like a helpful bookmark link. It doesn't allow us to create an issue from TestRail, but it does automatically open the create an issue screen in your Azure DevOps project for you. Now let's jump to the second part of the video, that is how to configure Defect plugin. Defect plugins are used to implement a deeper bug tracker integration. Let's see how to do it. We'll go to the Defect plugin, again the administration, integration. Here I'll just select the Azure DevOps Cloud from the drop down. This will automatically populate the plugin settings, but here we can review the default options and change them based on our preferences. I'll just quickly change few settings here, like address, project, user and password. So I have already set it up here. I'll just copy and paste it again one by one. This is my instance name. This is my project name. And this is a username. And lastly, this is the API token. One thing to note here is there are several ways of authenticating a session: using email and hard-coded passwords, using email and API tokens, or using user variables. The recommended way to authenticate TestRail with your Azure DevOps instance is using a personal access token instead of hard-coding any password. For setting up user variables, I would recommend you to check our detailed documentation here on our website under TestRail Integration Guide, Bug and Issue Trackers, User Variables. Now with the Defect plugin configured, I just have to save the settings here. With this Defect plugin configured, the option to push a defect will appear in the Defect from Anywhere feature. Now you can see a push new defect, and also when we click on add result, we can see push here. So we'll just see how it works. We'll click on push and we'll be navigated to a defect screen where we can fill up the details about a defect in TestRail. So this is the issue type and this is the status. I'll just submit it. So I have created a defect in TestRail without leaving TestRail, and it will be reflected on the Azure DevOps side. Let's see. When I go to Azure DevOps and I click on the work items, I can see the new defect is added here. So to summarize the second part, This push link allows us to create a new issue in Azure DevOps without leaving TestRail. That's all for today. Please join our community forum at discuss.gurok.com and post your queries if you have any. Alternatively, you can also reach out to us by sending an email to contact@gurok.com. Thanks again for watching this video. Bye for now.